about when we say just start. If you don't mind, can we jump right into it?
Yeah, sure. You want
All
me to
right.
talk about just start?
Yeah. Could you explain what is the point of Just Start, this podcast?
Just start is all about getting out of your own way so that you can just set foot on your journey, whatever that is, so that you can start making progress. I think a lot of times we have grand ideas or we have, an idea of what we want to do in our life, where we want to go, and then we do nothing about it. And we get stuck in our head and give ourselves all the doubts. But um, Just Start is talking about how do we do that? How do we get out of our own way? And how can we just start?
I appreciate you, um, well, touching on that, but just for the record, we're really going to expand on that, right? I mean, we're really going to talk more about that over the upcoming episodes of your
Mhm.
show, but you can be reached on your own YouTube channel and other locations. So let's do that real quick before we go into the topics for the show. How can people reach out to you or reach to you for coaching?
So you can find me on my YouTube channel under my full name, Melanie Schaefer-Meyer. You can also find me on my website, heycoachmel.com. You can also find me on Instagram. It's life_coach_mel on Instagram, and then also on Facebook.
Absolutely, absolutely perfect, perfect. Now, let's get to the meat and potatoes of the show. I have an outline that you brought to my attention that we wanted to talk about on episode 2. There are 4 different points that we wanted to talk about today and share with the viewers and the audience here with Open Session Podcast here on the NATV Studio Network. Maybe the task seems too daunting or too big to even try. That was the first one. I am curious to find out, what do you have in mind when you say that the task may seem too big to even try?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is something that we all ask ourselves. It's just like, why try? And I think a lot of times we have, like I was just mentioning, we have these big ideas. I don't know if you have these moments where you have these big thought downloads and moments of inspiration or moments of lots of motivation or get really excited about something. And then you go home and your primitive brain is just like, I am scared about this, or I'm nervous, or this is why this is not going to work out, or, you know, we probably won't make anything of it. And you just have like all of these doubts and just this storm of why try? Like, if I start it, I'm probably not going to finish. Right. So your brain is trying to answer that question for you already. Your primitive brain, the keep you safe brain, the one that says, um, I'm not sure about this.
Mhm.
But your soul, your mind already knows the answer to why. You got that answer when you were having that moment of excitement and moment of curiosity, moment of inspiration, when you were having those thought downloads and it was coming to you. There was something in there that was like, I want to do this, and here's why. It means something to me in this way. People chase things all the time because of how they think it's going to make them feel. And so when they're feeling inspired, they're saying, I want to do it because it creates this XYZ meaning for me. And when they're asking themselves why try and they're giving themselves all the doubt, they're thinking, well, maybe it's because if I don't do it, I won't be disappointed. I'll keep myself safe.
So,
I won't get hurt.
so fear can come into play, a
Mhm.
measure of anxiety.
Yeah,
Is that kind of what you're highlighting?
right. Yeah. So I think when you ask yourself that question, why try? And we all face that. Why? That's when you get quiet and really answer it, because the primitive brain will tell you the how to keep yourself
Hmm.
safe answer,
Right, right.
right?
Hmm.
And it's starting to make you think that, why try? There's a negative reason to like retract. But if you say, okay, I hear you. I understand you're trying to keep me safe. I got you. And then answer it for real. Your gut already knows the answer.
When
How do you
you
want it to make you feel?
when you embarked on becoming a coach and a number of other things, saying yes to me, and embarking on putting yourself, as it were, out there to help others, what was your why?
So, I was actually thinking about this yesterday, and I remember some of the hardships that I've experienced in my life. I spent about a decade and a half inside of depression, and that was a very hard period for me. And I remember hitting my lowest point and asking that question, why? And one of my answers that came to me was that someday I knew that I would need to deliver my messages to somebody outside of myself, to a bigger audience, to somebody that would need motivation when they're at their bottom or they're beginning and wondering why try. My why is for the other people that I can help.
You've been able to do a few shows with me. We're able to do a few shows, and I know that you've been able to help other people. A lot of people have found you encouraging, and they have found you very informative. But more importantly, they found you very positive. But when it comes to tapping into a person's self worth, that was the second item that you sent me in the outline for a topic of discussion today for the show. By the way, if you're watching this, and many of you are accustomed to seeing myself and others on Narc Abuse TV network dealing with narcissism, this open session podcast is a format that originally we got started with to be positive and encouraging, that covers a number of subjects, just an open session that covers a number of different subjects. You will see Mel quite a bit and others. But what we're doing right now is we're trying to tap into this subject of worth or value, who we are, and trying to just get started in whatever aspect of life you may be in. Maybe you're picking yourself back up. Maybe you are rebounding from, as it were, divorce or some situation that has come your way. A person tapping into their worth, their self-worth. What are your words of encouragement for that?
So this is something that I face with, I would say, 99% of the people that I meet, whether it's acquaintances, friends, or people that I coach with. I just get these little peeks into the grandiosity of their human potential. And a person's individual worth is bundled up inside of every single person is born with gifts and talents and abilities and this uniqueness that only belongs to them, right? And they each have their own sphere of influence. And as we grow and develop those skills and talents and abilities, we can start to expand that sphere of influence, right? But what I often see is just these little peeks into their highest self, who they could be,
Yeah.
who they want to show up as, who do they want to become. And sometimes there are times when I can see who they can be, and they don't see it yet. And that's the most beautiful thing about being a coach is I get to believe in people when they're just like, I want to do this thing. I don't know how. And I'm like, let me help you because I believe in it, because I can see where you could go with this. I can see where you're going to take off with this. So when I'm helping somebody, when I'm interfacing with somebody, I want every person to really tap into the very core center of who they are, the talents and gifts, and figure out what you brought into this world. What are you good at? What do you like? But also take from that center and grow it to your highest potential. Where could I go with that? What can I do with that? And that's what I see in people. And I help them just start that journey, start to bridge that gap between what did I bring in this world and where am I going with it?
Now that can be challenging because every person is different,
hmm
but there is a way that you get them to stay focused or tap into that as a coach that works for them. So a
Right.
person can't really start comparing their self-worth or how to just start to someone else then.
Right. Because every person is unique. And even if you have two people who are very similar, grew up in the same household, they're going to go on a different journey. They're going to, they have the same parents, but they have two different experiences about their upbringing. So every person is going to take from their experience and take from their skill set and go in a different direction. And so my job as a coach is always to just show them their mind. What are their thoughts? What are their thoughts about where do they want to go? What do they see? What steps do they want to take or they're ready to take? And also those thoughts that are maybe holding them back so that I can show them maybe the spots where they could shed a little light on something that needs to be shed or grown or remolded in some way.
So if I'll throw this out to everybody that will get a chance to watch this and see this, if you are struggling or dealing with depression, trying to start a business, looking to maintain a business that has just hit a pothole, you're struggling with a number of different things, step into Open Session Podcasts, Just Start with Mel, so that you can find a source of positive encouragement. I wanted to get into visualize your goal and why you want it. It's kind of a two-part aspect, but I like that part of the outline when you sent it to me for this particular episode so we can talk about it with the viewers. When it comes to visualizing your goal, what are your thoughts?
So I think it's important to really think about where you want to go with your your inspiration thought download. You're like, I want to do this. Okay, well, what does that look like? What does that, all the details, like write down. Maybe if it's someplace that you want to live, how big of a land do you want to live on? What kind of house? Who's living there with you? What kind of, like really detail out what it is. Maybe create a vision board or a collage. This needs to be something that you see in your mind's eye or on a vision board or something. This is a tool that a lot of people use so that they can see their goal and go after it. Sports people use this. So, they visualize the win. They visualize themselves winning, but they not only visualize themselves winning, they visualize getting themselves to make a play. They visualize getting the ball across the goal line, right? So it's like, what are you trying to create? And visualize that. And the important thing about visualizing that is training your brain to see something that hasn't happened yet. Because the more that you do that, the more that your brain starts to believe that it actually exists. Sometimes the brain doesn't distinguish between programming and actual memory. So it thinks that it actually exists out there. I just have to go get it, even though you haven't created it yet.
Now you definitely opened up my mind, man. Well, our show's here for just for everyone's information. This is the second episode, so if you're stepping in, what are you stepping into when you come to watch or listen to us? Mainly listen to us. Put these shows on. You drinking your little something something over there. I see you drinking a little sip of a little something something. I see what you. Okay, now I gotta ask before I even say that. What you drinking? What you drinking?
This is my post-workout formula.
Okay. All right. All right. Just asking. Is it is something you made or is it something you buy?
No, I just bought it off of Amazon.
Oh, okay. All right. Just checking. All right.
No
All right.
affiliate links yet.
Okay. Well, you dropped the affiliate links when you dropped this show on your YouTube channel. But what I
Okay.
was gonna mention is when it comes to visualizing, a person then can go from nothing, maybe as an entrepreneur, a business aspect, whatever it may be, visualizing their business plan or whatever it may be. They can go from nothing if they start to visualize. That'll kind of give them a foundation to just start so that the
Yeah.
fear and anxiety doesn't keep them stuck and then they never take off in that business, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the more that you visualize it, the more that you write it out, picture it out, define it in a lot of different ways, the more that you spend time with it, the more it starts to feel real and that you can just go get it rather than it's this unknown, vague thing that I really don't
Right.
have attachment to. Then it starts to become more familiar to you. And so
Yeah.
you're able to train your brain to be less afraid of it.
So take it from being just a dream. And the reason why I'm talking about this right now, we're delving into this in episode number 2, is because this is really the formation of where we will be going if you step into this show. We're going to really be talking to those who maybe, like I mentioned earlier, just left a relationship, left a job, and now you're visualizing and going to just start embarking on something else. You can get some tips and tools of things that you can a la carte pull from this show, match it with other things, and you can have a plan to move forward in what you're trying to achieve. You want to start a business? Get some tips and tools from Just Start, this podcast show. And the rest of it you can get from Mel on her YouTube channel and other places you will find her and her website. Now, visualizing is not dreaming, is what you're saying. That's not just dreaming about it.
No.
You're talking about putting it pen to paper and then from that moving to action. Is that what you're trying to say?
Right. So, I mean, just this step in and of itself is that brainstorming piece. It's like what we were talking about in the first episode with the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. The Cheshire Cat said something to the effect of, "Well, where are you going?" And Alice says, "I don't really know." And the Cheshire Cat says, "Well, then it doesn't really matter which way you go because any way would be great, right?" So what you're trying to do is visualize what it is that you want, okay? And you do that often. And you have that brainstorming, get it, like you said, pen to paper. And we've got to write it out, define it, and then keep revisiting it because it's not something that you can do just once. You have to make it real, you have to visualize it every day.
A person starts to visualize it. I'm going to go to the second part in this point number 3 for the outline that you sent me for this particular episode. Visualize your goal was the first aspect of point number 3. The B part of that, the A part, visualize. The B part of that, why you want it. Why is it that you want to, what you're visualizing, why do you want to achieve it?
Yeah,
That
and
part
that's
is important. Go ahead, my friend, please.
I was just going to say we were kind of touching on that when we started this episode. Like, why try? And you kind of knew your why. And I kind of hinted on the fact that when we chase something, we do it because of what we think it will make us feel. So let's say, for example, somebody who is chasing a job. Well, they think, well, I'm getting a job because it's going to make me money.
Yeah.
No, you're actually chasing it because you want to feel certain that you can pay your bills and that you can buy food and whatever else extra, have X amount of disposable income.
Right.
So you don't want the money, you want what the money will make you feel. I want to feel certain. Why do you want that job? That specific job? Well, why did you choose that profession? Maybe it's important to you. Maybe It's a sense of significance that what you are or what you do matters, right? Or maybe it's a salesperson and they travel a lot for work, and you appreciate the variety that it brings to you in your life. I need that sense of having newness in my life. So when you're tapping, and this goes along with, I'm kind of touching a little bit on Tony Robbins' 6 Human Needs. Tony Robbins is in my background for one of my certifications as a life coach. And so Tony Robbins goes through the 6 human needs that we have. And so specifically speaking about a job, like why do we go out for the job? There are different elements, like I'm saying, with the money, with the specific profession selection that we think it will make us feel. And it could be another thing like love and connection is one of the human needs that we have. And sometimes it's just that connection to self. This is who I am. This is what I do. And so sometimes it's that self-expression, it's that connection to self. The reasons why what we do. Another reason people do it is to have that contribution to something greater than themselves.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm a life coach, is because I really feel like I am meant to contribute to something greater than me, developing other people. And also personal growth is one of those. And I really enjoy personal growth, but that's not why I'm a life coach. That's why I keep going to podcasts because I like personal growth and development. That's why I buy all the books, and sometimes I don't even read them, right? So when we are choosing the things that we choose, a lot of times it's to fulfill these human needs. And there's those 6 core human needs. But there's a whole gamut of feelings that come associated with those core needs that we have that we're trying to fulfill. How do we want to feel?
The core needs that you're talking about, there's a pretty strong possibility you're going to be explaining more of those on your YouTube channel. So if everybody wants to know more about that, go over to Mel's YouTube channel where you can find out more about those core needs. And she can break those down for you. You guys can have a discussion. You can talk to her about getting any coaching you think you may need to give you that boost in life to just start. This point number 4, focus on your next right step. Now, point number 1 was maybe the task is just like too big. In other words, why try?
Yeah,
Point
it's too daunting to
2,
even try.
yes, too big to even try. We could start off looking at things that way. Make it tough to just start. Point number 2 is tap into your worth. Point number 3 was to visualize your goal and then technically review, look at, dissect why you want it, why you want to achieve what you want to achieve. But point number 4, focus on your next right step. Talk to us about that, my friend.
Right. So that is all about taking this big thing and breaking it down into those small steps. I talked a little bit earlier about maybe somebody who's going to football practice, who's visualizing the game. Then you're visualizing winning. But to win the game, you have to visualize yourself making across the goal line. And before you do that, you've got to visualize yourself actually getting to practice and practicing plays, right? And before you get to practice, you've got to make sure you get up in the morning, right? So that you can get to practice.
Okay.
And before that, you've got to make sure that you eat right and also get some good sleep so that you're not,
That's like the day before. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So,
okay.
so like, what's
Good.
that next thing? Like, if you want to write a book is so overwhelming. It's like, how many pages do you want to write? Maybe 1,000-page book or 500-page book, right? So a person who's authoring, so you may want to break it down into what's your outline and then start on that chapter. And you're like, I don't know how to write a chapter. Well, just start like Just spend the time and write for 15 minutes. Just start clicking keys. You know what I mean?
Just start writing.
Just start writing.
Start writing, doggone it.
Yeah. So it's, you have to just break it down into those little steps. And sometimes it's taking baby steps. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how. This is really scary. Or like, I literally cannot see my next step. All I can
Yes.
see is like the light in front of me and the step that I'm taking now. But you have to be brave enough to just take that step, and your gut will tell you. Your gut will say, okay, I can do, like if I'm trying to lose weight, I can do this workout today.
Yeah.
We can do that. I'm not a year down the road in this weight loss journey, but I can treat my body right today. I can take in my right nutrition. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but today I can do this. I can do my workout, right? So whatever that next step is, you just focus on that little bit. Even if it's a baby step, even if it's in the dark.
What if I take a wrong step as I attempt to take a right step, but I take a wrong step and now I feel I'm just not good at this?
So I love the wrong step. I love the wrong step so much because in my mind as a coach, there's no wrong step, because even the wrong step will teach you something. Be like, oh, now I know something. That's actually the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And now I see the right way,
Mm-hmm.
where you didn't see that before you took the wrong step. Right? So, what is it that you just said?
When it
That,
comes to, I wanted to take a right step, but
I
I
took
took
the
a wrong
wrong
step.
step.
And now I feel like, well, I always take wrong steps.
I
And
always take wrong
here
steps.
comes the self-doubt, the negative
Yeah.
talk, and maybe even a few friends who are lazy and don't want to just start themselves. And now it all piles on and you're like, well, what's the point?
Yeah. So I think it's important to remember that you're the person that took that step, even if it maybe wasn't the right one. And it's just, you're the person that took that step. You're the person that learned something from it. And as long as you have that attitude of, I'm taking steps and I am learning, and now I know more than I did before I took that step, then I'm further along than I would have been if I had just stayed on the couch, right?
Yeah. Oh man, now I can't go get on the couch today. That's gonna be in my head. What'd you say that for? Just, all right, so
Man, the couch is so inviting.
man,
It's comfortable. Maybe
oh
there's a lap
man,
blanket.
oh, go keep going, sister. Go on, sister. Keep talking. Preach on, preach. The couch seems like the perfect place, but
And we
that's
can talk
where.
about this in a different episode, or maybe I'll have to do
Okay.
something on YouTube. But there's, how does the saying go? I'm gonna have to, and this one isn't even mine, so I might just butcher it.
All right, go ahead, butcher it.
There's
It's
no
all right.
way.
It's all right. It's Open Session Podcast. You with Paxton. You can butcher anything with me. Go ahead. They don't like it. They don't have to watch this show. Somebody will watch it. Go ahead.
There's no growth in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the growth zone.
Got it.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? What is that? The thoughts that you're saying there, whether the saying is correct or not, doesn't matter. There's 50 billion memes that go around anyhow. But if you know what that is, then absorb it and enjoy it. But what does that mean to you with the life that you have led and the bouts of depression to where you are now and the process of life that you go through now? What does that saying mean to you, my friend?
So, and this is one of the things that I teach my clients when they come to me. We talk about the things that you're willing to feel to accomplish the tasks that you're out to accomplish, the goals and the visions that you have. And one of those things I always challenge people is to be willing to feel uncomfortable. It's that edge, you have this circle of comfort that you live in. And to live right on the edge of that comfort zone or even just past it, to just live in that discomfort space, to be comfortable with uncomfortable, is such an amazing space to be in because you're always on the edge of something new. You're always on the edge of, I'm not sure. And you just, Kathy, that's my mom. You do grow in discomfort. She's so right. I learned a lot from her.
I was going to say, go ahead. No, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
My mom is one of those that taught me a lot about positive affirmations and self-talk, and also my dad. But thanks, Mom. She gives me a lot of good thoughts.
I love it. Beautiful. Go ahead. You were saying?
But just living on the edge of your comfort zone, just being comfortable with discomfort allows you to invite the newness that is coming to you, the changes that will be happening in your life, whatever that you're trying to create will be new, which means to your brain, this is not comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so to create that newness, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable so that you can incorporate and welcome and invite that newness. And that's what helps you grow your comfort zone, because as soon as you add that newness, that's now in your comfort zone. You're like, oh, I know you. You're with me. We can hang out. And now you got to go chase that next thing. So it's like what you were just saying. It's like, I took that step, but it was the wrong thing. Well, guess what? That wrong step is now your companion as knowledge. And now you can take it and say, okay, I'm going to take this other step. Well, maybe it's wrong. And you can just keep figuring it out until you kind of start to define where you're going.
So for an individual who finds themselves, for example, here we go. I'll put this up. Let's talk about this. If a person finds themselves constantly feeling like their life is in the era or wrong
That's a good picture.
That's not me, everybody. I just want you to know that. But I kind of felt that this morning when I woke up. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't feel that. But sometimes people reach out to us with the shows that we've been doing over the past couple of years. And with this open session podcast format where we have coaches and bloggers and others come on and do shows and talk about what they provide in the way of encouragement. Mel, here, you're highlighting that if a person lives their life on the edge like that, that's no bueno.
You mean like on the edge of it's error 404, page not found. Yes. Things are crashing.
Houston, you've got a problem.
Oh.
We're gonna tell them
my world is coming down. I don't know what just happened. That's what this guy's face is saying.
Yeah. Like, oh my Lord, everything I do is wrong. We're gonna give them your mom's phone number and they can talk to your mom so she can tell them, hey, absorb the discomfort and move forward. I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Well, I mean, that's error 404, page not found. Like, things are crashing. All of those are just thoughts. And a feeling is just a vibration in your body. It can't hurt you. It's not real. It might have maybe gone wrong, but you don't know what you're going to do with it tomorrow. You don't know what you're going to do with that. And maybe something did go terribly wrong, and maybe you got massively embarrassed, or you lost a lot of money, or you hurt somebody or broke a relationship. Um, but I think it's really important to tap into what did you learn from that? What can I go? What can I do? What Where can I go from here? And just knowing, just wrapping that right back around to, okay, XYZ just happened. You're going to have thoughts about it, which is going to create a lot of feelings about that. And then you can say, okay, what is my next right step? How do I get to where I'm going from here? This might have been a huge setback. Maybe my next right step is to recoup. Maybe my next right step is to brainstorm. The next right step doesn't always have to be forward motion. It could
Okay,
be,
that's a good one. Go ahead. That sounds really good. What do you mean by that?
so the next right step could just be sitting down and doing another brainstorming session. What did I learn? What am I thinking? What do I need to do next? So it's like discovering that um, how do I move forward? So I think it's just removing that pressure from yourself that forward always means, like this cute little avatar, upward, onward, smile on our face, and life is great. And even the person sitting in the chair is like calm and thoughtful and she's looking up. But progress doesn't always go like that, right? It's pitfalls and it's, swimming through the mud. But you have to kind of anticipate that you'll have those moments and to be okay with things crashing down or things going wrong and understand that that doesn't necessarily mean anything about the end journey unless if you stop and you make it mean something. It could just be a pivot. Where are you going now? What are you going to do with this?
Okay, you say the word pivot. I love it. So a person may need to pivot. They may need to regroup. They may need to do some of the things you mentioned earlier. Others you may be joining us just now. But a point was made earlier that a person may need to reassess, as it were, where they are. They may need to sit down and take a look at where they are. It may mean you may need to talk to someone, but still visualize your goal.
Yeah. I would say never lose sight of your goal because at one point it was important for you to have that outcome. And there's probably, if things crash, there's that ache in your soul that says, I'm not realizing that today. So the goal is still there. What you're visualizing is still there. You just may have to have a different method of getting there, a different vehicle maybe, or maybe even a different velocity. Maybe you're going at a different rate of
Mm-hmm.
speed. Maybe you have to go
Right, right,
slower for a little while.
right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's
But
not
just
always
go ahead, please. Go ahead.
it's not always going to be that upward forward motion, but just kind of like what you were saying, checking in with yourself, but also checking in with somebody else, like an amazing life coach. I think it's so important to take not only the growth moments, the intentional moments to say, where do I want to go and how do I plan to get there? But also take those moments where, you do have setbacks to recoup and figure out what happened and why did I do it that way? And what are my thoughts about that? To sit down with somebody and get that reflection to just figure out um, where you're at right now, to get some clarity. And that's what good coaches will do for you, is to mirror back to you. It's not just what happened. It's like, where's your thought process? What are your thoughts about that? And it's your thoughts that will affect how you feel and move forward. So as long as you want to like keep moving forward, you have to make sure that you assess what your thoughts are about it.
You have been a source of positivity and, well, inspiration this afternoon here. Well, I take that back. It's afternoon for you too. I don't know why I was about to give you the East Coast time, but we're only an hour apart from each other. But look, I've got to ask you, when a person needs to maybe pick themselves up or just start, do you think they need to go and get a hoodie?
Yes. Of course.
Booyah!
Especially one like that. That one is sassy. That
That's
one's got
right.
some
Look at
some
you.
pizzazz.
You got Just Start Thug on
But
you.
I
Look
love
at
things
you.
like this, like merchandise, just like a hoodie, especially something like this. If you are hunkering down and brainstorming and you want something comfortable, or even if you're like losing weight and you just need that little motivation, this is like one of those visualization exercises. It's like, I am just going to start today. Whatever it is, we're just starting.
Look at you. Look at you.
We're going to put a link down. We need to put a link to my
Oh, yeah.
shop. There's more than just hoodies on there.
Oh,
We've got
really?
coffee mugs. We've
Huh.
got leggings. We've got backpacks. I really love the backpack, by the way. It's so cute.
Yeah, you're going to have to send some information, pictures and stuff my way so I can put something together, because I'm going to have on our channel here a playlist where you can, if you're a viewer, you can go into that playlist and take a look at all of my guests that send me their information on their merch stores, so you can get some inspirational gear to keep you going. So you got the Just Start hoodie. You said a backpack and other stuff. So that's great. I
Couple
want to be able to post
t-shirts.
that stuff here so people can find the link with us, but they can definitely go to your YouTube channel and do the same. Okay, I got to get to this point of the show before we end the show. Motivational tip outside of just start and get the Just Start hoodie or leggings or whatever, maybe workout gear and backpack and other things. We want you to share with us a motivational tip on the way out today.
Okay. I was actually thinking about this. I'm glad you asked me. And
No
this is going to
no telling what I'll ask, right? You just
you never tell me what you're going to ask me.
Hey, that's why
I
people
should have
watch
known
my
you did
live
this at
shows
the last
for
show.
2 years. They don't want to be bored, and we look too prepared, then they bored. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you your affirmation because I'm into affirmations. On YouTube, I posted a self-confidence affirmation for your daily to listen to, whatever. So I'm going to give you an affirmation for today because I'm on this kick.
Uh-oh, she's warming up, everybody. The show's about over, but she's coming out of her nervous shell now. You guys are in trouble, but we're going to be ending the show. But go ahead, my friend.
You are amazing and worthy. And I want you to go and create something beautiful today. I want you to believe that. That goes back to your individual worth thing that we were talking about earlier, but I want you to believe that you are amazing and worthy.
That was nice. That's good. You're awesome. I can't touch that. Okay, can't touch that at all. Everybody, we've had fun today. I'm going to do something here with music. I'm going to play some music on the way out, but I want to put something up real quick, and I want you to comment on it. Let's say goodbye to your mom.
Bye-bye.
Much love to Kathy. Thank you, Kathy, for your comment today. We appreciate it immensely. I wanted to do that real quick. And before we go, everybody, dun, 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 dun. Check this out. I made this myself. You can't see it. Hold on a second here. Let me get this out of the way here. Hey, wait a minute. We got something happening over here. Check this out.
Spicy
Hey,
versus sweet.
I'm not done here. Look, something popped up here. Hold on. Here we go.
Okay.
Your mama say goodbye. Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate you being here. This show is coming to its conclusion for today, but I know what's coming up for episode number 3. So feel free to join us to do so. This entire show, the content, the thoughts, the outline is from Mel. And Mel, thank you so much for doing this. I'm really looking forward to episode number 4 because I know what you got. Excuse me, number 3. Well, 4, and you've got all the episodes. you got an outline. It's going to be very encouraging. A number of people reach out to us and tell us that they're looking for some encouragement after being discarded in a relationship or a breakup or a number of things. They're starting their business and they wanted something like what we're doing right now. So I appreciate you doing that. But there's a spicy and a sweet to every one of us. That's just what I'm saying. But the Just Start merch store may work for you without a doubt. You can find something to get some inspiration, right, Mel?
Of course. I'm very inspiring. You can get it from my merch line. You can get it from my YouTube. You can get it from my Instagram channel, or you can just message me and we'll have fun.
Hey,
we'll have a session together.
Waking up and the show's over with. She ready to go now. Okay. You better go over to your YouTube channel and put something up. You better go live over there.
Oh, geez.
That was pretty good. You're ready to go. So look, hey, everybody, we see you guys later. Thank you so much. Enjoy, enjoy some music on the way out. But we're done for the day, and you'll see us soon in a few more weeks with episode number 3.